hi, everybody. Welcome. Happy to be with you this lovely Wednesday afternoon. There's a lot going on in the world, and not all of it's good some of the times. And so it makes it even more special that you decide to spend your time with me when you could be doom scrolling and feeling terrible about the world. There's rare occasions where you can spend your time feeling worse about everything. And I'd hate to have you miss an opportunity by hanging out with me. So if you really need that in your life, knock yourself out. But in the meantime, I'm glad to have you here with me. And we've got a lot to cover today. But first, we had Black Friday. We had Cyber Monday. We've had Giving Tuesday. We have what do you want Wednesday? And then there's, of course, I can't find it. Send me the link again Thursday. And then Friday, I already bought it for myself Friday, which is the week after. And then there's Gift Card Week, which is the week leading up to Christmas, where everybody's like, fuck it, I don't know I have no idea what to get you. As my old friend Murray used to say, gift cards, never be afraid to give the gift that says, I don't know you. So, but, you and I, obviously I've got a Amazon wish list. You probably have one too, of magical trinkets you'd like. But there's really only one thing you can get if you're a right-winger. There's really only one gift that's out there. There's only one thing. Guys, there's only one. This is what every MAGA person in your life, in your life, every MAGA person. Oh, Hal, you're clearly squeezing the page down to make it so that the graphic doesn't fit. You're being a jerk by, oh wait, you're not. No, that's the whole yeah, it says life up here. Life, lift, it's a difference. Just know that every MAGA person in your life needs this book. And I assume there's an E here and a T here. But we'll find out, I suppose. All right, guys, naughty or nice, guys. Here we go. We're going to jump straight in to this. And there's probably an ad for something else. How dare they? Oh. Skip the ad.
Guys, if I haven't already, I wanted to show you a cool project.
Hi, fucko. How do you know if you haven't already? How do you not know, rather? How do you...
If I haven't done a video ad for this already, which I think I did, but honestly, I'm so gacked out of my fucking gourd on Sudafed, I don't know which way is up. My eyes are so glazed, I could lay down in the trays at Dunkin' and no one would notice me.
Guys, and here he is again, sequestered to 10% of his screen.
Had the privilege of spending the last 6 months working on. This is a quick...
Wait, what? 6 months? This shit took you six months. It's a picture book. The Apple Photos app will do it for you automatically. 6 months. The fuck? 6 months on a picture book. Dude, Tom Hartman writes 400-page books on American history in 3. Longhand, you lazy third-generation rich dickhead.
Clip of the end result. So check it out, and I'll be back to tell you a little bit about it. But
oh, it's a clip of it. There's going to be an ad. Please tell me he shot a sexy promo.
Something cool I got to do with and for my father for the last few months. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's going to make an awesome holiday gift. Check it out.
Oh, get out of here. I'm not going to get a fucking copyright strike because you're using YMCA at a... What kind of self-printing bullshit is this? Hold on. Jesus Christ. Now I gotta mute the goddamn thing. Hold on. Let's see. What should we put in? Yeah, that's a good song. I would do that ever. So, Oh, sorry. Oops. Hold on. Gather this shit. Yeah, we don't think you hand bound it.
Guys, it goes to this thing, and there's this thing, and guys,
Yeah. Dude, that's what a low-end publisher website warehouse looks like. Wait. That's the whole fucking thing? Get out of here.
guys, am I telling you or what?
That's the video. No,
Well, guys, there you have it.
what did I just watch? That's the promo video.
Guys, I know I'll be back with my own. Guys, I'll be back with my own words in a moment. But watch this. Absorb it. Suck it up. Push it in. Let it out. Rawhide. Okay, guys.
Copies of Our Journey Together. It's a book that I put together with my father. It goes through photographs from his White House years.
His White House years.
It's yeah, we know. By the way, I know what you're thinking. Hal, you showed us this a couple of days ago when it first launched, and it's been a flop. I know it's been a flop. But I don't think he knows it's been a flop, but surely, since I showed you the website, there have been major updates. That was just a landing page. That wasn't the final product. That was it hasn't changed at all. There you go. Here's the Trump giving the classic lower your expectations hand gesture. Easy now. This book sucks. Here's a picture of the helicopter. God knows if he's in it. Look at the mountains. It's very pretty. You can almost see him in the window going, Jesus Christ, I'm going to die in this thing. Hey, there's my African American. To the fire. Is that from the same time when he walked out to the car and started wandering on the tarmac? Okay, all three pictures. Well, at least here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pictures. Come on. 5. Let's start at the beginning. There's the first picture. Let's go to the second picture of 5. There's the second picture. Okay, so there's 2 pictures out of 5. There's 2 pictures out of 5, but it is $229 is an Orange Friday deal on this one. Still got the picture of him talking to Boris with his own personal.
Boris is a one of a kind, a fantastic leader of all. Never mind. Of the United Kingdom, he will go down as the best PM since Winston Churchill, who, if you don't know, Winston Churchill, obviously very powerful.
Winston Churchill stood on the rooftops in London, very calm, making speeches. Winston Churchill.
So these would be redcoats then?
Same fucking pictures. Same shit. And the ad hasn't jumped up at all. They're just flipping. These are pictures like taken on an iPhone and then cut off. Is what it's about. It's very exciting. Dealing with Kim Jong-un, President Xi, President Putin, and many other world leaders, and battling liberals on 2 impeachment witch hunts. And here's the books, and then this is the one of him having the weird behind the velvet rope in Marie Antoinette's dining room with Macron. Here's him signing copies of the same thing over and over again. Here's Don just putting pictures of himself and the family. And then this is the whole, look at all the paper. And this is him, of course, signing autographed copies of the Bible. But the best part, I think we all agreed, is the quotes. People who put in testimonials. Testimonials. Now, obviously, the first time there was just Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka. There's got to be... Oh. No? No, that's all there is? Just those 2. Just the oldest son and the oldest daughter. I see. All right. Well, sure. All right.
Guys...
all the incredible events, whether it's North Korea, whatever it may be, all of the awesome things that he was able.
Well, yeah, all the incredible events, like North Korea. You know that event.
To do and tell that story. And we were talking and joking about some of the things that had gone on in the administration and looking through old pictures. And I said, we got to put this in a book. The media.
We gotta sell this before people don't want to see our fucking faces ever again.
Never going to talk about his accomplishments. They were never going to talk about the success.
And apparently neither is he, because instead of writing a book over the last 10 months with the help of ghostwriters like all of his other books, in putting that effort forward to actually talk about his fucking stuff, they just put pictures with little handwritten notes, which I'm sure are in code for the QAnon, so I don't presume to understand it.
They were not ever going to talk about any of those things. So I said, we have to put this together in a book to tell that story. It's a beautiful coffee table book. It's big. It's going to look awesome. So for the perfect gift.
It's going to look awesome. You mean it's going to look awesome on your coffee table? Did he shoot this before they sent him what the fuck?
The MAGA person in your life.
MAGA. I didn't realize it was pronounced with a U.
And it was really fun working with him on it because I actually, for the first time ever, heard.
I actually got to hang out with my own father for a couple of days in a row. That was weird.
Some of those inside stories. He actually started writing some of these quotes on the pages themselves. And
he was like, Dad, stop. You're not autographing shit. Listen, this is for a book. And he's like, don't give me a Sharpie if you don't want a storm. I think that's pretty much.
We're going to use that, in his own handwriting about Crazy Nancy and some of these amazing times in the White House that, again, like I said, even I didn't know about. So
yeah, I don't talk to my dad. I didn't even know about the time when she's pointing at him. That was all over the news for I didn't know that. I was too busy binging Coke and Sudafed in the basement of Mar-a-Lago. I didn't see sunshine for 4 months.
It was an awesome project. I think it makes the perfect gift for someone. You can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or for those of you who don't want to go after big tech, you can get it.
For those of you that don't want to go after big tech. Now I know what you're thinking. You're selling a product. Maybe think what you're going to say through a little. What? Why would that happen? Why would you bother with that shit? Why would you make, he makes notes about every other fucking thing. Why would he do this to the, all right.
At 45books.com. 45books.com. We set
Yeah, it's a little short. You don't have to repeat it.
Website for the book, Our Journey to
Infotainmentwars.com. Guys, go to twitch.tv/HalSparks. It's something I've been working on. Subscribe. Guys, I thought this would be a website makes the perfect coffee table book. All you have to do is buy a laptop, put it on your coffee table. It's gonna look great. And what I mean is gonna look great. Fucking this is accordion bullshit.
Printed and put together and made entirely in the U.S. We spent more money to do that because we want to keep Americans working.
And dude, don't show a fucking video of an entirely automated process then. Did you see a fucking person in... All right, god damn it. 217, that's where we were. There's one person over there and one person at the end of the line. And the rest of it, just fucking, yeah, teams of America, Team America was working on this fucking thing. That lady was, this might be just a cleaning crew at night. Who sent you this fucking video? We wanted to spend a little extra and make it in the United States. Get the...
Working. Not a lot of people do that anymore in America. It's just much cheaper.
What? You don't get points for that shit.
Oversees this crap. We didn't want to do that. Just putting Americans to work. So, staying true to form, to the MAGA agenda. But again, I think it's something you'll really like. I had a lot of fun. Heard a lot of...
First of all, now his notes are over here. Now his notes are way over...
I had a lot of fun. So not many people do things in America anymore. That dump, For the last 10 months, it's basically
stories that, again, like I said, even I hadn't heard about from the White House. The little video clip you saw spliced in here earlier, that was, the first books coming off the product line. So
why don't you fucking say that beforehand instead of setting it up like you did some sort of glossy ad?
I think you guys will like it. I think you'll really enjoy it. Go check it out at 45books.com.
Dude, really? It's your fucking website. Why do you have to look down to look at him? He's reading 45books.com off of something. What is his laptop open and he's like holding the phone, or he has a phone holder right there? Hey, Don, check this out. Twitch.tv/HalSparks. Please subscribe. It's if you have Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you a dime. And if you're on YouTube and you prefer that as a channel, go to infotainmentwars.com and that'll take you right to my YouTube channel where you can subscribe there for free. So I recommend you doing both if you want to help out. Also, super chats are a great way to help the channel, and of course, the Venmo. I have a Venmo right up here. Look, I didn't even have to look. I could just point. I didn't even have to look at my screen to make sure my finger was going in the generalized direction. I even know this. You know why? Because I'm a friggin' professional, you chimp. God damn it. So lazy.
What was the website thing I created and we named 45books.com?
It's hard to remember because there's only one book on the site. I repeat. Now, come on. They just launched the site. He's got this, the first book. Obviously, they're going to have other books. Well, guess what, fucko? There is nothing stopping him from selling autographed copies of all of his other books. Art of the Deal, any of those things, doing personalized autographs or whatever for $10,000. Who gives a shit? By the way, maggots, I agree. Spend all your money on this thing and also sign up for nonstop donations at donaldjtrump.com. Please, do you even MAGA, bro? But the idea that there's only one book at 45 books, and I know it's the year he was the 45th president. I get that. But it sounds like there's 45 books on the site. There's not. There's never going to be. There's never going to be 3. Well, unless he puts out 2 coloring books.
Hopefully you guys have a great holiday and everything else that's going on.
Whatever, if there's a war on Christmas, I want you guys to have a great holiday and whatever else is going on. Could you feel that? It's from his family to yours. Oh, God. It's embarrassing.
Look forward to seeing you soon. Look forward to hearing what you...
Dude, you're not FaceTiming us. Look forward to seeing you soon. You're not going to see any of us. You're not going to see any of these people. Biden won't allow Christmas this year. Yeah, he's canceled Christmas just because of this book. Holy shit. I'll see you soon. You're not going to... What? You're never going to see me. I don't deal blow.
The book too. It was a lot of fun to put together, so hopefully you guys have as much fun flipping through it with your families.
Flipping through it with your families. What kind of bizarre notion of family life does this dipshit have? This guy worked on this book for 6 months with his own father, and they're not gonna flip through this fucking book. Because I guarantee he and Eric could look through the book look, remember that? Pop was on Marine One. Can you believe Pop was president? Trump's just like, I'm a loser. Every page reminds me that I'm no longer president. This is a nightmare book. Everything about it says it's horrifying. There's Boris Johnson. He doesn't return my phone calls. North Korea, he won't. Where's Trump Tower Pyongyang? Why is there no picture of this? You just made this book to kill me. Well, the joke's on you, Don Jr. There is no inheritance. I snorted it. It's a pop-up book. Unlike Trump, according to Stormy Daniels. Wow. I have to say, in just in terms of, hold on one second. Hey, don't mess around with him while he's trying to sell you a picture book. You know, he using less words for America. Now, don't get me wrong. All foreigners need to be learning English, but Americans shouldn't have to learn to read it. That's cruel and unusual punishment. Send me a picture book. Where's my Donald Trump paper doll? Foldy outfits. I want one with his blue suit and the other one with his blue suit. I want a giant dangly red tie. How about you see? I want to see his diaper so bad. I want to see it. Is there a picture of the diaper in the book? Come on! Come on. All right. Now, Trump was on Hannity, and we didn't get to cover this because I couldn't find the full thing. And now I have. Dear Lord. Here we go. Trump looking happy, healthy, excited, not like a disgruntled employee who's blaming ageism for why he lost his executive management job. Not at all. And this is here's the beginning of this. I'll back up. There's a little there you go. Just see, I need to see how close the orange tone is. I do appreciate, and this might be just the copy of the interview, so I don't know for sure. But Hannity's looks like he's skipped Trump orange today and is just wearing turmeric.
Already, I wanted to.
Oh, hold on, this one.
In less than a year, we have the Afghanistan disaster. We have more.
Well, no, we don't. We actually are out of Afghanistan. Unless you're talking about China's experience in Afghanistan right now, which would technically be an Afghan disaster, an Afghanistan disaster, yeah.
Americans dead from COVID with as you were just discussing.
That's a lie.
Discussing. We have inflation that is back, an economy that is tanking.
Yeah, the economy is totally tanking right now. Guys, it's tanking. It is. I mean, Black Friday broke all records and Cyber Monday was extraordinary as well. But don't, no. It's year-over-year inflation. Just remind yourself of that.
Poor and middle-class Americans are dying with high energy prices.
Are they? I'm sorry. Are they freezing to death all over the country? Or just in Ted Cruz's state while he's fapping in Mexico?
We have our borders out of control. We've given up energy.
That's true. We have our border. We used to just have a southern border and a northern border. Now we've got borders everywhere. They're just snaking up through the country. The border goes straight through the middle of the like it's splitting the Mississippi. We've got they're like whipping around like a garden hose. These borders.
Now we have Russia on the border with Ukraine, and we have China.
Yep. Yes, Russia has always been on the border with Ukraine, by the way. You do realize maps have not changed.
Saber rattling with Taiwan, talking about reunification.
Yeah, China didn't have to saber rattle with Trump. He didn't give a shit.
And flying their fighter jets over there. And I think
sniff more, dude.
A lot of this was captured in an ad put out by
Trump's bored listening to it, like, get on with it. When do I get to say, I'm supposed to say all those things? That's my line.
The Save America PAC. I want to play it for you. It's comparing Joe Biden to Jimmy Carter. Let me get your reaction to it.
Yeah, it's they're both decent Christians, I suppose. Carter obviously created more jobs in his one term in office, twice as many jobs as Trump in his one term in office, even before COVID. And then, of course, Biden has created like more jobs in the beginning of the year based on Trump's own metric than any of the last 6 presidents.
Decades after Jimmy Carter, Joe Biden picked up where he left off, with America surrendering to terrorists.
Is that what's happening? These guys, they sure have cleaned up since then.
Foolish spending is causing inflation.
And by the way, this is him. They use this shot a lot. This is him when Ducey was asking him a question. And Steve Ducey was asking him a question. Is it Peter or Steve? Peter's the one on Fox and Friends. Fuck, they all blend together. Where he's like, this fucking dude, right?
Which means more pain at the pump, higher
She wasn't even looking.
prices on
Well, the price of a mini seedless watermelon is off the fucking charts. Hold on. I can't even get a small watermelon. Higher grocery prices. Fire it up.
devaluing your retirement.
Oh, Grandma. Look at that. She's forced to wear a doily for warmth. She's got a headache from trying to figure out how to sign up for Medicaid, I guess, or something. Either way, migraines. Probably got migraine. Devaluing retirement savings 2021. Oh, that's because the stock market goes up. Anytime the stock market goes up, retirement savings go down. That's what I heard. Except under Trump, which the exact opposite was true. Am I the only one that smells almonds?
Savings when you need it most. Once was a mistake. Twice is a disaster.
Oh dear. Look at these. Old white guys with silver hair. What is America coming to?
America needs strong leaders, not
Well, what? Oh. What kind of strength are we talking about? Like lower back strength or?
ones.
The similarities, it reminds me a lot of turn your thermostat down and put on a sweater. And
It does. I used to say that a lot, and then my mom said, we ain't got a thermostat. We use a wood-burning stove. And I was like, is that why it's so goddamn hot in here? She said, yeah. And I said, well, maybe we should put the fire inside the stove. And she walloped me one. That's the day we lost our house.
long gas lines, as some of us.
I gotta be honest. I got a long gas line. I tell you right now, sometimes when I'm just peeing, sometimes that it's something like to do with pressure shift. The whole, that almost, now I'm starting to understand why Trump wears a diaper. I'm all right. That one, yeah, my left leg is numb. I'm all right. It's better now. It's okay.
Are older, remember.
Yeah, you are. He's old. Bring up that he's old. That's a good thing to do a week from Christmas.
Well, Sean, look at the brownouts all over California.
Yeah, I seen a couple of them. I was like, you don't live in this neighborhood. We had a brownout in our neighborhood, and we said, hey, buddy, you best get in your Cadillac and smoke your doobies somewhere else. And then he started speaking Spanish or something. I don't know. It was scary, the whole thing. I just went in the house.
I mean, all of this nonsense that they're doing, they want to replace clean fossil fuels where you have it really clean. Natural gas is very clean, but it's...
Oh, hey, man, you don't have to tell me. Oh, I'll tell you, that's so much, that was, that's good. That's a good Lord. You don't have to tell me that's clean. Let me, that's, I learned that from you. Oh, that hurt. That hurt a little bit. I think I farted out my appendix. Oh, that's not good. Whew.
Powerful. It can take care of and fuel our country, and they want to replace...
Yeah, they want to replace it with stuff that doesn't pollute the water. Who needs clean water?
it with wind with it.
Oh, believe me, you can't. I'd love to replace some natural gas with wind. You know what I'm saying? Oh, good Lord, I'm replacing the natural gas with wind. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's not another one. Oh, wait 1 second. Oh, I'm much better. Okay, here we go.
And billions of dollars in subsidy. They need subsidy for it, and everything comes from other countries.
You sure are slurping a lot. Okay, I'm out of this. Hold on. We're going to be in this the whole time. And then I'm going to end up, for whatever reason, when I'm doing that character, like I pinch my cheeks up when I'm speaking, and literally my face gets sore.
Bring it into our country. I mean, it's just.
Hold on. I know you're thinking, Hal, what the fuck did he just say? And I got to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know if he said anything at all. Let's back up and find out, shall we?
Fuels where you have it really clean. Natural gas is very clean, but it's powerful. It can take care of and fuel our country. And they want to replace it with wind. Wind, where they spend billions and billions of dollars in subsidy. They need subsidy for it. And everything comes from other.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Hannity's doing the sniffing. You're doing the slurping. Because that's just fucking gross. Listen to this.
Billions and billions of dollars in subsidy. They need subsidy for it. And everything comes from.
Good God.
The countries bring it into our country. I mean, it's.
Wait, what? The fuck?
Wind, where they spend billions and billions of dollars in subsidy. They need subsidy for it. And everything comes from other countries. Bring it into our country. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yes, I have to agree with him there. I can't disagree. Yes, wind does come into the country from other places, often from sometimes the wind, if you live in Chicago, sometimes the wind comes down from Canada and you can hear it howling in the trees. Hey, like that.
They're thinking, you take a look at where we were, and remember the word inflation. Okay,
all right. Remember the word inflation. Can somebody write that down? I'm going to forget it.
Inflation, if you'd like to say that, which is a step worse. But remember inflation.
Hold on. Did he say stagflation?
You take a look at where we were, and remember the word inflation. Or stagflation, if you'd like to say that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Use either one. They're interchangeable. You don't have, now, yeah, they mean different things, and their causes are different, and their solutions are different. That doesn't matter. These are bumper stickers, not words.
It's a step worse. But remember inflation. What's happening now to prices is many times more than any possible tax increase that anybody could give. But on top of that, in this new bill, they want big tax increases. People.
That's weird. So I'm to understand the United States is doing tax increases on the whole world, because the whole world is experiencing inflation largely driven by energy costs. So is the U.S. now taking in tax dollars from the entire world? Who ever heard of such a thing?
To pay massive tax increases. And I'm not talking about the wealthy. I'm talking about everybody.
Let me ask you this. I know you're not going to answer.
Let me ask, can you kick my ass?
Me on the question of whether you can run again or not because of campaign laws.
Yeah. Here's the campaign law, Sean. You've asked him this shit before. Here's the law. If he says he's announcing and he's actually going to run, he can't take super PAC money anymore. He has to separate himself from his regular campaign and the super PAC, which means he can't use the super PAC money from the Save America PAC to pay all of his fucking bills, to keep all of his properties afloat. And if he can't do that, they will all be for sale by spring. That said, more than likely, they will all be for sale by spring.
You have said that you think I'll like the answer. So that gives me some insight to where I think you're going with this. If you do run again, is there...
No. Nah. Look at that face. Look at this dude. Look at the question. He's letting him off the hook. Now he's not looking at the screen where he can see Trump. Nope.
What is one major thing that you would do differently?
Yeah, tell us something that you did that you were imperfect in while you were president and that you would do different.
So, look, there are many things that I would complete. For instance, the wall was almost completed. Could have been done.
Yeah, great. Okay, so tell you what, you can Once you get reelected, you could be president for a month, finish your wall, paint it, and fuck off to the Caymans.
3 to 4 weeks, but they decided not to do it, and they should.
I'm sorry. You couldn't have finished it in the last month of your administration when you weren't taking security briefings and you totally blown off all the actual work you were supposed to do as president?
And, you know, we had the strongest border in history. We have now the weakest border in history. There are many.
Well, I think Syria would probably argue that point a little bit, or Afghanistan. They might have something to say about weak borders. Ask Iran right now about weak borders, but sure.
Many deals I would have done. We were ready to do a great trade deal with Europe because they've been.
Yeah, we were going to totally do a great. By the way, why was Trump getting ready to do a great trade deal with Europe? What was the deal that they were about to do? Let's see. That they somehow, what was the great deal that Europe was doing that you wanted to be a part of and why you supported them doing it, but when Biden got in, they stopped it? European and Chinese leaders are urging swift ratification of the trade deal they agreed to in December of 2020. Just I don't know if you guys knew about that, but Macron especially, and all these folks, he was trying to take the lead. By the way, Macron was, even though he's in this small little package over here. By the way, there's a reason she's smiling, because she has no interest in, let's see, where they go. Yeah, Ursula von der Leyen, who's the European Commission president. She just threw a monkey wrench in China's Belt Road Initiative, but largely because she was trying to collapse the deal from the inside, but these two were trying to push it through in a big fucking hurry, especially this dude. So after tensions over accusations of human rights, the EU-China Comprehensive Agreement on Investment, which is the one that Trump was supporting, took 7 years of negotiation, was finally agreed to on December 30th, 2020, and why were they urging swift ratification of it? Why would they? What happened at the end of the year that ended up fucking that whole process? However, EU Commission Executive Vice President Valdis Dombrovskis said last week that efforts to get the deal ratified by lawmakers in the European Parliament had been halted. We have, for the moment, suspended some efforts to raise political awareness on the part of the Commission because it is clear that in the current situation, with the EU sanctions against China and the Chinese counter-sanctions, including against members of European Parliament, the environment is not conducive to the ratification of the agreement. And this May 4th. The suspension follows tit-for-tat sanctions imposed over China's treatment of the Uyghur population, which our stance as the United States changed when Biden took over. So, but he was getting ready to do a great deal with Europe right about that time. Why? Oh, because they were making a great deal with China, and he was in bed with them. I see.
Ripping us off almost as badly as China. We had another deal with China coming along that would have been phenomenal that China wasn't happy with. I would have done all of that.
Sorry, instead of a third of your three-part deal, a third of one part of your three-part deal, you had another Chinese trade deal you were going to do that China didn't like, but you were going to get it done anyways when you couldn't get phase one completely paid for. A $30 billion deal, by the way, during COVID, $11 billion in goods is what they ended up buying. We ended up dumping close to like $4 trillion into the economy over the last 2 years to deal with COVID. You think $10 billion means fuck all? And you don't think that maybe, just maybe, in June of that year, you might have suspended the deal with China and taken all those farm goods and just used government funds from the rescue package at that time to pay for those things so that you could give them to Americans who were in 3 to 5 hour food lines? America first.
I had to devote a lot of time to fake investigations. They were fake. And, you know, it's...
Well, no, they were real investigations. You can say that they really were looking up your ass with a microscope. They found some stuff. I would go personally, maybe see a doctor. You know?
Moon River. Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
Interesting. The Durham report has started, you know, it's come out. I wish it could have been a little earlier, but it's unbelievably completed.
It's unbelievably completed, because that's a statement. And many of us often say that it's not believable that it's completed, but that's, the best words.
You know, it's come out. I wish it could have been a little earlier, but it's unbelievably completed. I would imagine this is just the beginning of the foundations.
It's not even out yet, though. It's unbelievably completed. Yes, I think Sean is hanging on the unbelievably part.
The Durham report has started, you know, it's come out. I wish it could have been a little earlier, but it's unbelievably completed. I would imagine this is just the beginning of the foundations.
But I want to ask you about that specifically.
No, well, I mean, no, but the foundations
we know the Steele
are being
dossier is debunked. The Washington.
No, this is all good. That was a nice exchange. That's strong leadership right there. You back and forth.
Post had to retract their stories. Where's the rest of the media?
Yeah. They actually have retracted it, and almost all of them are starting to now retract it, and they don't know how to do it because they're very embarrassed. And frankly,
that's why they're not retracting it. It's not because it's not true. It's because they're just too embarrassed to do it. Now, granted, they've done embarrassing retractions in the past. Let's see. Biggest retraction. New York Times. Oh, I guess Washington Post history. Let's do that one. Washington Post history. Let's not consign. 10 most American. Let's see. This is the. Oh, it's a Washington tracks. Warren. Yeah, these. I'm trying to find an older one back in the day. Let's see. I'll just pick an old page. Oh, yeah. This would be. This would be a big one. Rolling Stone and UVA, the Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism report, a rape on campus, what went wrong. That's a pretty embarrassing article. Last November we published a story of rape on campus, RS 1223, that centered around a University of Virginia student's horrifying account of her alleged gang rape at a campus fraternity house. Within days, commentators started to question the veracity of our negative. Then when the Washington Post uncovered details suggesting the assault could not have taken place the way we described it, the truth of the story became the subject of a national controversy. That would be apparent. That's pretty embarrassing. That's heavy duty embarrassing stuff. Meanwhile, yeah, there's 990 people in the chat. We're almost at 1,000 people in the chat. Remind you to. I keep forgetting to tell you guys to share, and of course, please consider subscribing on Twitch. That would be lovely if you could. And of course, to quote the guy in Only Murders in the Building, Venmo. All right.
Should give back their Pulitzer Prizes. They won Pulitzer Prizes for their coverage of Russia, but you and Solomon and other people were right. You should get the prizes, okay? You were right. You called it early on.
That'll make their heads explode.
That's you have
give Hannity the Pulitzer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's shocking. It's hilarious. Like the way we talk, that'll own the libs over there at the Pulitzer Committee.
But you're right. They didn't earn them. They were wrong. And we spent.
No, they were not. They were not wrong. In the small areas where they were incorrect, they corrected themselves. But they were not wrong.
3 years on this program, unpeeling every layer of that onion, and we were proven right first in the Horowitz report, now every step of the way. Right. It turns out the dirty Clinton bought and paid for Dossier was full of lies, and it was used to ruin Carter.
It was fake. It was fake. It was fake.
His life and spy on your candidacy, your transition, and your presidency. That happened.
Well, that happened, and a lot of other things happened, but I was thinking...
Yeah, that's, I mean, the best words. That happened, and a lot of other things happened. And things are still happening, and they might happen again. Just embarrassing.
Just on the way over for the interview, our country focuses on so many of these fake investigations, and we don't focus on greatness any longer. Everything is an investigation. You look at what's going on now, where they have a unselect committee. It's an unselect.
I call it an unselect. I've got to have an unselect committee. They call it I call it a, because I have the best words, and this is keen to move over, Rickles.
The way they're treating people, and yet Antifa, who are bad, BLM, you look at all of the horror shows and the death and destruction they cause, and they don't go after them, but they go after...
Well, the FBI does, and the local police do, and a lot of people have been arrested for a lot of the violence that happened last year. And somehow, by Sean Hannity, future Pulitzer winning Sean Hannity, has sought to ignore that entirely, even though a simple Google search of any of the cities where any of the unrest that happened last year will lead you to either arrest records of a lot of people who are now doing time or have paid massive fines, or people who the FBI is looking to find.
People that in many cases, and not in all cases, but in many, many cases are patriots. And you had some bad people, and if you look at what happened at the Capitol, you had some bad people that were not patriots at all. And they came from other places, including Antifa. And
yeah, that's the story. These were all Antifa Trump fans. And you know, and Antifa, they were very clever Antifa. They spent years posting on social media as Trump fans, even before he was elected, in a plan that they would hatch years later.
Including others, and they led a lot of people astray. They don't want to cover that. They don't want to cover the election results.
I have several. But, you know, please don't ask him where he gets the assertion that somehow there were Antifa people that were not wearing masks, massively overweight, wearing MAGA hats, and living in trailers covered in Trump bumper stickers that were part of an underground cell group.
We had 534 riots in the summer of 2020 that the media and the Democrats described as mostly peaceful. Okay.
Well, no, the riots weren't peaceful. The gatherings were mostly peaceful. That's the marching during the day. But, you know, mix shit up. You're talking to Trump. You're not talking to me.
Dozens of Americans died. We had thousands of cops that were injured, pelted with bricks, rocks, bottles, Molotov cocktails.
Who was president back then? I don't even remember. It seems like hundreds of years
We had billions of dollars in property damage from between arson and looting that took place. Where's the committee?
Why are you blurring those people out? Are they alleged criminals right now? Are they topless? What's happening?
Looking into those riots, and where are the prosecutions of the many people we have on videotape committing all of these crimes? It seems to me that the committee has a predetermined conclusion, outcome, and that is to once again try and bludgeon you. If they really
Well, the commission's dealing with January 6th. We already have systems in place to deal with rioters. The FBI is tracking people as they cross state lines to go to a lot of these things. That's already in play. Now, notice how both of these assholes are acting as if, let's see, FBI wanted 2020 unrest. Let's just something like that. There you go. This would be what the FBI is currently doing. 7 wanted in connection to arson incidents during unrest in Philadelphia last hour. These are 7 people. This dude's not wearing a mask. She's going to stand out because of her hairdo. The rest of these guys all have rags on over their faces. They're mostly wearing scarves or whatnot, bandanas. And let's see, what about here? Let's see. There'll be a bunch of Capitol riots because of the timing on this. Let's see. U.S. Capitol rioters. These are Capitol rioters. Okay, because this is the earlier part of it. Most wanted. There we go. There you go. Kiro 7. Seattle PD FBI asking for public photos, video to help find suspects wanted for looting and vandalism. I thought they were just letting it slide. Aren't they just letting it slide? They're letting it slide, right? Let's see. Whoops. Have some more stuff that pops up, guys. Anyone with information, videos, or evidence is asked to contact Seattle Police or submit information to the FBI online at fbi.gov/violence. Oh, okay. Guess that's not still left over. Or that link is dead. Let's see. Most wanted. Let's see. Seeking terrorism, kidnapping, missing murder, parental kidnapping, crime alerts, white collar crimes, more wanted. 10 most wanted fugitives. That's exciting. Eugene Palmer. That's concerning. Most of these are cartel dudes. Who's that dude, though? Unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, murder. Apparently, the Amish are quite dangerous. One for allegedly killing his daughter-in-law outside her home in Stony Point, New York, has been added to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list. I see. So this is the fugitive list. Okay, but that's just their way of distracting from the riots last year. Going after poor Amish grandpas.
About peace, and I condemn what happened on the 6th, and you said many of you will peacefully and patriotically march to the Capitol so your voices will be heard. They forget.
Yeah, and you're going to have to fight if you want your country back, and you're going to have to be strong, and we're going to walk down there peacefully and patriotically, but if things don't go our way, that's when it'll change. That's what the inference was from his entire speech.
My question is, where's the committee looking into the 535 so-called peaceful riots in the summer that killed dozens of Americans and injured thousands of cops?
Well, you don't need one because there's either state police dealing with the ones that were inside. There are FBI investigations already between organized groups that might have been trying to do it across state lines, but there was no particular politician linked to any of those events. So there need not be a political committee about those things unless there's something about them that we can garner as far as changing our laws, as far as dealing with riots and other stuff. And there does not seem to be.
Nothing would have happened with Seattle until I was ready to send in the troops in the form of the National Guard. We were going to override the governor. Nothing was going.
Well, no. That was because assholes, racist hippies in the CHOP murdered 2 black teenagers. And then tore apart the vehicle they were in to hide evidence of the shooting. That was the night before. That's why. We covered this at the time.
To happen in Minneapolis. We saved Minneapolis. If we didn't send them in, you wouldn't have a Minneapolis, and you wouldn't have so many other.
No, you'd have a Minneapolis.
But you take a look at the crime in these Democrat-run cities, it's incredible.
Whoa. Up next, I'll ask the former president how Biden's...
So what? Ask him why you felt the need to ditch out on the interview at that part. That's weird.
Policies and how they're impacting the country, and here's what he told me. Let me go back to the one question, because you've been there. The policies, if Joe Biden wanted to save his presidency, I could tell him how to do it. He would bring back the Trump policies on the border. He never would have abandoned Americans. He could go rescue the...
Yeah, nothing will help him with his base like losing 800 children.
He left behind enemy lines. He can go back to...
What? Sorry, what Americans? What Americans behind enemy lines? I mean, I know he's talking about Afghanistan. That's what would fall into the category of extraordinary claims requiring extraordinary proof.
independence, he can go back to lower taxes and less regulation, which was your economic policies. So he could
go back to dismantling the pandemic response team 2 years before the worst pandemic since the Spanish flu. He could go back to dismantling the cops program, which was helping to broom out bad cops in police departments all over that would have gotten rid of Derek Chauvin before the incident that ended up causing the death of George Floyd. Maybe he could go back to those policies. Maybe he could go back to giving tax cuts to the wealthiest, especially the corporations, and making the ones for individuals temporary. Maybe
his presidency, but I don't see that happening because this part.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. And by the way, Sean, it's very rude to make a hand gesture about the size of Trump's penis while you're talking to him. We all spotted that. We all knew it right away.
Radicalized more than at any other point in my working lifetime, which is now 33 years on radio, and now
I'm going to require a little bunny fuck you on working, Sean. Working. That's work.
26 year of Fox.
If he did nothing when he came in, you'd have the strongest borders in history, and people would be able to come in, but they were coming in legally. You know the other thing nobody talks about?
Nobody was coming in. It was COVID.
And people would be able to come in, but they were coming in legally. You know the other thing nobody talks about? You do. Drugs. The drugs are pouring in now at a record rate. I had them at the lowest level they've been in 17 years.
That's weird because you were president when the majority of the deaths occurred in the first time that we have reached 100,000 deaths in a fiscal year. Biden had only been in, and he hadn't instituted any policies about that kind of stuff that would shift anything in a major way for about 8 weeks because they had, COVID still and a vaccine rollout to plan. And we had to get out of Afghanistan with a hamstringed operation that he had done none of the work on by May.
The drugs are pouring through our southern border at a level like we've never seen before.
Well, technically, they're only seeing them because we're catching them.
All he had to do is come in and do nothing. We had remain in Mexico, and I worked that out with the Mexican government, or I was going to tariff their cars. And I really like the president of Mexico. He and I had a great...
Yeah, we had a great relationship. I mean, he's emptying his prisons and sending all of his Ted Bundys over the border to destroy our country. But other than that, great guy.
Relationship. And we worked out, they gave us 28,000 soldiers at no cost on our border.
On the northern border, which we already have covered, and apparently, maybe that's why his wall didn't fucking work. Were we using them as fence posts? What's happening? You might have, if you had any brains at all, asked him to send him to his southern border for these caravans.
While we were building the wall, remember, most of the wall is built. It could be finished in 3 or 4 weeks. Right now, that steel was put in an area, and it's just sitting there rotting on the ground. It's such a...
Right, yeah, that's the problem. Once the worms get in there, obviously, it's not the best steel anyways. It's got a lot of knots in it and stuff. But once the termites get to work on that, yeah, I don't even know what kind of an idiot thought it would be a good idea. That steel is just laying outside. It's exposed to the sun. I don't know who thought that would be a good idea to make a wall out of that shit.
Game. It was so impactful.
So the policies would stay the same.
Let
me ask you a question. With how the media treated you, again, I go back to what...
They let everything fucking slide. Like, there were like 3 people in the media that were like letting him have it on the level he deserved. Everybody else was like, well, this doesn't seem like the fitting behavior of a president. They were all they're all like a family with an alcoholic raging at Thanksgiving dinner table, just trying to just finish your stuffing, dear. It's fine.
What would you do differently? Obviously, the policy...
Hey, fucko, you already asked him that.
...would remain the same. Is there any one big thing that you say, you know what, I'm not going to do this or that?
Well, until I ran for politics, I got the best media.
Until I ran for politics, I got the best media. until I ran for politics.
The media treated me good. I understood that they had some difficulties in life.
The media treated you well, not treated you good. The media treated me well. Does not, I mean, Wharton, the fuck is wrong with your English department?
They were not so straight, but they treated me very well. I guess that's one of the reasons I became president, when you think about it. But
yeah, they looked the other way.
I would devote maybe more time to it, but I think to a large extent, I often...
So who said he talks like a regular Joe? No, he doesn't. I know a lot of quote unquote regular Joes, and they speak far better than he does. When I ran for politics,
experimented. I'd have some people.
This dipshit was president of the United States.
One of the reasons I became president, when you think about it. But I would devote maybe more time to it, but I think to a large extent, I oftentimes experimented. I'd have some people in, I'd give them absolutely perfect answer, I'd give them the time, I'd give them everything, and they'd still write a bad story, because that's their
That was an experiment. Oh, sorry. That was an experiment. Sometimes I would answer the questions asked of me factually and truly, just to see. And they would write a terrible story.
Makeup. But I think what I would just do is more of the same. I was making the greatest trade deals ever. And our environment.
Yeah, greatest. China, 3-phase trade deal. Phase 1 signed. During the first phase, he was covering for Xi Jinping as COVID made its way across the globe. They're handling it very professionally. I just talked to him yesterday. And then as soon as the ink was dry, shit.
Was being protected. Sean, nobody talks about it. We had the best numbers we've ever had last year in terms of clean air and clean water, meaning ever.
Because nobody was driving. There was no fucking traffic. The world over. Planes were grounded. Boats weren't going anywhere. The fuck are you talking about?
In the last 40 years. I assume before that there weren't so many people, so I guess we had good numbers, right? But we had the best numbers we've ever had.
Am I hearing you right in that it sounds like you would ignore the media more, focus more on the agenda? The agenda, obviously.
No, you're not hearing him right. That's not at all what he fucking said. Your objection, Your Honor, leading the witness.
Let me ask you this, because there is a factor.
I don't think, Sean, if I might, I don't think.
Yeah, kick in there. Correct the part that when he tried to make you say something other than what you were fucking saying.
I don't think that I really spent a lot of time in the media. I spent a lot of time on fake investigations.
Well, that's what I want to ask you.
I was being investigated from the day I came down the escalator. And I have to devote time to that. We have one right now going on the Capitol. We have local prosecutors all over the country. If I fly over a state, I end up getting investigated. It's the...
Well, no. I mean, that's cute. But you're being investigated for interfering with the election, trying to keep yourself in office, like a standard, run-of-the-mill, low-end, hack, criminal politician from a southern state. Or an old Chicago-style liar. That's what this is. There's nothing extraordinary about any of this bullshit. It's Blagojevich all over again, with slightly dumber hair.
Easiest thing I've ever seen, because the local prosecutors work.
That was funny about the whole driving things over. Sean, laugh at his jokes, okay? He's miserable.
Federal government.
Let me go back to Durham.
And they're radical left and very dangerous Democrats.
So, and this for me.
Again, guys, you have to understand. Guys, you have to understand the beauty of this. He's fucking miserable. He's on Hannity. He's getting to gripe about what he's complaining, all of his complaints about the election, all that stuff. And look at his fucking face. Look at his This man is sad all the time. Every time he passes a window and sees his fucking reflection, he's like, God damn it. Everything. Like that. This dude wakes up angry and goes to sleep gacked up and angry.
A little personal because we spent a lot of time making sure we got the right reporting. And I had an ensemble.
You what? Starting when?
You mentioned some of them, John Solomon, Sarah Carter, Greg Jarrett. I can't mention everybody, but there were a lot of people.
Yeah, this is like, yeah. Can somebody play the Oscars walk-off music for Sean right now?
Courage at the time. And
Agent Gary.
everything that we reported, we got right. Only now, all these years later, this consumed over 3 years of your presidency. And now we know for a fact what we discovered very early on, and that is that the Steele dossier that Hillary Clinton paid for, and with the DNC,
well, it was done when she paid for it.
bought and paid for, was full of lies. It consumed.
No. Even Durham's indictments don't allege that at all. Durham is in no way in anything he's done so far, and if he does eventually, let's hear it. Let me see it. But Durham, all of Durham's indictments so far have been about people lying about the source of where they got some stuff, not the substance. Not a single attack on the substance other than they were Democrats, which is not a defense.
3 years of your presidency, and it was all based on a lie. Now, if we live in a country where journalism is that dead, and that even knowing the truth.
Well, Sean, you have a job reading news on a network that uses the word news in their title. Journalism is not dead in the United States, but thanks to you, it's been intubated.
Today, only one news organization stepped up halfway to acknowledge the false reporting. How do you overcome that when?
How do you? It must hurt so bad. They halfway said that they.
So abusively corrupt and biased.
They are corrupt. They are, and I say it, and I don't want to say it much, but I say it, and I hope in the future I won't have to. They are the enemy.
Good fucking God. Listen to this gibberish. I say it, and I don't want to have to say it, but I'm saying it because I'll say it because you said I said it.
They are corrupt. They are, and I say it, and I don't want to say it much, but I say it.
Hey, man. Hold on. I kind of think we have to. I would like to say for the record that I believe you. I think all the people in my audience believe you. What's not to believe? Honestly, go ahead.
I hope in the future I won't have to. They are the enemy of the people. And we could have a country that would be able to heal and get together, except the media foments it. They're so corrupt. And, you know, I came up with the term fake news a long time ago. I don't know if I'll get credit for that, but that's okay.
Well, you didn't. Sorry. My nose goes back to normal when you say that. He did not invent the phrase fake news. Like, at all. Trump claims he invented the term fake news. Here's an interview with the guy who actually helped popularize it. I kind of hate hearing the term at this point, says BuzzFeed's new media editor Craig Silverman. During a press conference alongside Finnish President Sauli Niinistö Wednesday, President Trump took credit for inventing the term fake news. I don't even use fake anymore. I call it fake news now corrupt news because fake isn't tough enough. And I'm the one that came up with the term. I'm very proud of it, but I think I'm going to switch to corrupt news. That's BuzzFeed News media editor Craig Silverman was in fact the person who popularized the term fake news before Trump got his greasy paws on it. Silverman started using it in 2014 while he's running a research project at Columbia University's Tow Center for Digital Journalism, and later made it a big part of his beat when he moved to BuzzFeed in 2015. Trump is stealing from BuzzFeed. Next thing he'll be stealing from Flashpoint.
The fake news, but it's really the corrupt news. It's corrupt what they do. And they're so important, it could be, well, important. They used to have a high approval rating. Now they have the lowest. I think they have a lower rating than Mitch McConnell, which is pretty good. I tell you what, they have a rating that now is people have gotten wise to it. They've just gotten wise to it, and it's a shame.
Up next, I'll ask Donald Trump about Kyle.
Jesus Christ, that's the
Trump all about it. Take a look. Let me ask you about foreign policy, because I'm extraordinarily concerned about what's going on. You got a hostile actor in Vladimir Putin. He now looks like he's now got an army ready to go on the border with Ukraine. You see...
Okay. He's now got an army. Let's see. This is what he's referring to. Satellite images show new Russian military buildup near Ukraine. The deployments come as tensions is rising between Moscow and the West. New commercial satellite photos taken on Monday confirm recent reports that Russia is once again massing troops and military equipment on the border with Ukraine after a major buildup this spring. The new images taken by Maxar Technologies shared with Politico show a buildup of armored units, tanks, and self-propelled artillery, along with ground troops massing near the Russian town of Yelnya across the border of Belarus. Okay, and that's important. Close to the border of Belarus. The units, which began moving in late September from other areas of Russia where they're normally based, include the elite First Guards Tank Army. Meanwhile, new analysis by Janes on Monday, that's the military website I've shown you guys in the past, reveals that equipment from Russia's 4th Tank Division has been moved to areas around Bryansk and Kursk, close to Ukraine's northern border. The units are equipped with T-80U main battle tanks and self-propelled artillery. They're basically parking them there. Elements of the First Guard Tank Army have been spotted in the area. They've been designed to conduct operations at every level of combat, from counterinsurgency to mechanized warfare. It's usually the first to receive the latest equipment, is also seen as a primary formation for the testing of new equipment and tactics. Russia is saying, by the way, that this is, let's see, U.S. allies warn Russia. Okay, here we go. So this is Wall Street Journal. U.S. allies warn Russia over military buildup around Ukraine. This is November 30th. This is just the day before yesterday. And let's see. Rand Corporation is saying, is Russia about to make a serious mistake in Ukraine? NATO ministers to discuss Russia's Ukraine buildup. Hold on, except whatever. Buildup amid invasion fears. The long-scheduled gathering in Latvia's capital, Riga, comes at a volatile moment on NATO's eastern flank, as allies also grapple with a migrant crisis the West says is fueled by Kremlin-backed Belarus. This is the other part that they're trying to basically funnel jihadis and immigrants into Poland through Belarus and then into Europe to basically act as like an alternate form of warfare. Just cause just trouble, internal strife, essentially. Let's see. A U.S.-led alliance is looking to show the Kremlin it faces severe costs if it threatens Ukraine, while stopping short of provoking Moscow into a further aggression. But they point out that NATO aspirant Ukraine, which will have its foreign minister at the 2-day meeting, is not covered by the alliance's collective defense pact. The concern is a hybrid attack, and that's the folks coming across. So this is, and by the way, Putin's a bit of a mess right now. I mean, let's see. Let's see if I can find I just use the regular news feed on this one. Trouble. let's see. So they recently, this is new. Russia expels U.S. embassy staff in retaliatory move as tensions mount between Washington and Moscow. So we're tit for tatting on a lot of this stuff. There have been reports of Russian troop buildup in Ukraine's border for weeks. While it aspires to membership, Ukraine is not a member of the EU or NATO, however, and NATO is under no obligation to defend the country. As such, just how far the U.S. and the EU might go to protect the country is uncertain, and that's what the test is all about. Relations between the U.S. and Russia, which are already tense, took another turn for the worse Wednesday after Russia said it was ordering U.S. embassy staff who have been in Moscow for more than 3 years to fly home by the end of January. It said it resorted to retaliatory measures after the Russian ambassador to the United States, Anatoly Anatov, said 27 Russian diplomats and their families would leave the U.S. on January 30th, and another 27 diplomats would need to depart by June because their visas have not been extended by U.S. authorities. What? You what now? The Biden administration is not extending the visas for these Russian diplomats and their families because of what they're doing on the edge of Ukraine. So, all right. But, you know, Biden's not doing anything. He's weak, and anything that, you know, if Trump was in there, Putin would be kissing his ass.
The hostile maneuvers of China flying their fighter jets and over Taiwan airspace.
Yeah, so the Chinese flying, we got to cover this every fucking time. U.S. subs in Formosa Strait. Why is this? I don't want that. Oh, it's just for popular mechanics, dude. Whatever. There you go. Silent Partners, T-Day, the battle for Taiwan. This is Reuters. As China menaces Taiwan, Island's friends aid its secretive submarine project. Part 2. Taiwan has stealthily recruited expertise and technology from around the world to build a submarine fleet to serve as a deterrent against Chinese invasion. Risking Beijing's ire, defense companies and engineers from at least 7 countries are helping the diplomatically isolated island. Now, understand, under AUKUS, the U.S. has given technology to Australia to build nuclear-powered, not armed, nuclear-powered submarines for patrolling the Indo-Pacific region and the Formosa Strait between Taiwan and China to protect Taiwan in case China decides to invade. On top of that, the U.S., Japan, the UK, and 2 other countries, you know, like India, I think has 1 ship, are basically running laps around Taiwan right now. We also have soldiers in Taiwan on the beach on the western side of the island, on the Chinese side, as it were, facing that country. So if they were going to attack and come aground, they would have to roll over some of our soldiers, which would be a major escalation. And that's irritating them right now on top of that. They are, because of China, they weren't able to buy any. The U.S., Taiwan's main ally, has a nuclear-powered fleet and hasn't built diesel-powered subs in decades, and other nations balk, fearful of angering Beijing. Now, as China under Xi Jinping steps up its military intimidation of Taiwan, an array of foreign submarine technology vendors, with the approval of their governments, that's new, are aiding a secretive program to build subs in Taiwan. It's not that secretive. Reuters is talking about it, but sure. Taipei has stealthily sourced the technology, components, and talent from at least 7 nations. Defense companies from the UK, which, like America, operates a fleet of nuclear-powered ballistic missile and attack submarines, have provided crucial support. Veterans of Britain's Royal Navy submarine fleet, retired Commodore Ian McGee, I'm probably related to that fucker, has my middle name's McGee, but it's spelled differently, was a key figure in the drive to recruit submarine expertise, according to a person familiar with his role. Between AUKUS, President Tsai Ing-wen has been a strong supporter of the new submarine program. She boarded one of Taiwan's existing Sea Dragon subs on 2017 to visit Kaohsiung. The new boats are being built at a shipyard there with help from us and the UK and India and Japan and South Korea. hey, you guys could have had it easy. You could have just let TPP go through. But no, you had to hold off and say, oh, trade deals are bad. So therefore, now we're ratcheting up into, okay, well, we're not going to make random stuff. We're going to make
talking about reunification. Now, I'm going to tie two things together. With all of that happening and Joe Biden saying nothing.
Hey, asshole, you lost him already. And by the way, and Joe Biden what?
Now, I'm going to tie two things together. With all of that happening and Joe Biden saying nothing about either, and then we have the incident of Hunter Biden's $1.5 billion deal with the Bank of China.
No, that was the company he worked for, Rosemont Seneca, and that happened 4 years before he joined the company.
$100,000 shopping spree with a Chinese national, $3.5 million with a Russian oligarch, the former First Lady of Moscow.
Right, who turned in her criminal husband and needed to hide some of her money and get the fuck out of that country so she wouldn't end up dead, essentially. And she sought Rosemont Seneca's help to invest, which, by the way, they only shared in the profits of, so it had to make money. But investment firms, I mean, they don't have any experience.
Why do I believe that if the last name...
She's, by the way, the richest woman in Russia now.
...were Trump, and it was your son Don Jr. or Eric or Barron Trump or Ivanka Trump, that people would see the lack of action and tie it to the family being compromised. We saw what Libya had in terms of a dossier on Hunter Biden, and it was not flattering in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I woke up this morning really shitting rocks about Libya.
A blunt assessment. I worry that the reason Joe won't act is because probably both China, Russia, and these other countries have a dossier on Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they have something on Biden. Otherwise, he would do something like, where we go? Well, here, let's just look at all of them. AUKUS deal. U.S. accuses China of economic warfare against Australia. Biden advisor says Australia won't lose sovereignty under AUKUS, warns China. Australia launches AUKUS pact, a masterclass in diplomacy, or blah, blah, blah. They worry about it. The unintended consequences. Defense News is worried about a ratchet up. There it is. AUKUS. UK, US, and Australia launch pact to counter China. I mean, they have to have a dossier on Biden. You know, he gives nuclear-powered submarines to Australia. I mean, that sounds like a gift to China, doesn't it? Now, again, obviously Trump could not have done this while he was in office because this kind of technology, which we've been using in military submarines since 1953, was not available. It was not, we didn't even know how that stuff worked. We were still waiting on one final report on whether or not nuclear-powered submarines would even, they'd have the buoyancy necessary to be submarines or whatever. Now, granted, we gave that same technology to the UK decades ago, but still, Australia is by no means, could Trump have, in the last 4 years, joined together with them, or even reinvested in the Quad to push back against China, or gone through with TPP, to the Trans-Pacific Partnership, to balance China's control over worldwide trade. Shit, it's not like all during the Trump administration, he turned a blind eye to the Belt Road Initiative as it blasted its way through Africa, right? And the Middle East, right? I mean, I'm certain that, let's see. That at some point, that I'm sure Trump never could have possibly known that there was a secret military base that the Chinese were building in the United Arab Emirate while he was over there kissing their ass and bowing and getting a necklace on him when he said he would never do that, and he said Obama bowed to him, and then he goes and does the exact. While he was fondling that glow in the dark globe, right at the spy center in the UAE. Remember that shit? all the while this base is being built. And the Biden administration comes in and goes, yeah, fuck off with that stuff. And they're like, we didn't know it was there. Well, they better stop building it right now. And they did. U.S. intelligence agencies found evidence this year of construction work on what they believe was a secret Chinese military facility in the United Arab Emirates, which was stopped after Washington's intervention. Washington? The state of Washington? Washington, D.C.? Or the administration making a decision to confront the UAE about this, according to a report on Friday. The Wall Street Journal reported that satellite imagery of the port of Khalifa had revealed suspicious construction work inside a container terminal built and operated by a Chinese shipping corporation, COSCO. The evidence included huge evacuations, apparently for a multi-story building, and the fact that the site was covered in an apparent attempt to evade scrutiny. The Biden administration held urgent talks with the UAE authorities, who appeared to be unaware of the military activities, according to the report. It said the discussions included 2 direct conversations between Joe Biden and Abu Dhabi's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan in May and in August. You know, in between nappy time, Sean. In between naps, he talked to the UBS, UDD, CPM, whatever his nickname is these days. Now, could Trump have ordered his spy networks in his military while he was running the country to keep close watch on Chinese expansion using the Belt Road Initiative to claim ground and build military bases? Sure. Could he have spotted the fact that they were using a bridge system in Australia to build a hidden military base there as well? Yeah. Did he? No. Now, granted, they may have tried to warn him, but he only wanted to see pictures in his briefings, didn't read anything, and took no notes.
Biden, and all of those deals, if it was the Trump family, would be investigated. Why no investigation here?
Well, because if it was the Trump organization, they would be blatantly and obviously crooked and have receipts falling out of their pockets all the times, and there would be a bunch of interviews with Hunter Biden talking to a Chinese media person from state-run Chinese media going, yeah, we love deals over here. We're going to have as many deals as we can. And there would be interviews with Hunter Biden on a golf course where a guy from Golf Digest says, Hunter told me most of their money comes from Russia.
Look, they probably do, and I hope they don't, and I wish the family well. That's dirty stuff. They play a dirty game. If that were my kids, they'd be in jail for the rest of their lives. The game that is being played, everyone knows it's totally corrupt, and the media didn't want to cover it. When the New York Post did incredible reporting, they banned the New York Post from being on big tech, okay? I mean, every form of big
tech. So the New York Post website was down. I don't know if you knew that. I mean, it wasn't, but it just for the sake of argument. They couldn't post on their Facebook page. Well, I mean, they could. But New York Post could only post these stories on their Facebook page, and other people could share them. Twitter pushed back on them in the couple of weeks ahead of the election because they were unverified stories. And by the way, I still stand by what I said. What Hunter Biden laptop? It's a lie. It's why Steve Bannon keeps saying the hard drive from hell instead of the laptop from hell. We have a video of the woman who wrote a book called Laptop from Hell. Maybe she's got a picture of it. Maybe we'll finally see a picture of this alleged laptop. What do you think the chances are? Or is she going to say we verified some of the documents and they seem real?
I never saw anything like it. They went after the New York Post for doing phenomenal reporting. They're another real hero in this game, along with the names you mentioned and I mentioned. But if you look at...
Yes, that's all we do is mention heroes, you and me.
Russia wasn't threatening. When I was there, we were getting along fine with Russia. I sanctioned Russia like nobody has ever sanctioned them before. And
no, the Senate did that. You did not have a choice but to enact those sanctions. You didn't come up with, the White House did not come up with any of the sanctions on Russia, and he waited till the absolute last second to institute them.
Pipeline, doing all sorts of, I even sent some things to Ukraine. I don't want to fight the battle for Ukraine. They got to fight their own battles. I'm taking people out. Look, we take all of these people.
Sorry, what? You can't, dude, you can't backpedal like that. I don't want to fight for Ukraine. They got to fight on their own.
Out all of these wonderful soldiers out of the Middle East. We were all set to get out, and then we had that horrible, embarrassing withdrawal. But take a look at China. You didn't have.
Sorry, we were all set to get out. So we were going to get out. I don't know how many times we have to fucking talk about this. How many sentences away do you think he is on Afghanistan, like bringing it back up for his own God knows what reason? But the idea that we were going to keep Bagram, but we were going to get out, but we were going to keep it.
Flying over Taiwan when I was there. They understood, and President Xi understand you can't do that. I got along really great with President Xi and with President Putin. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. Nuclear power.
But I think they believed you.
Not a bad thing.
See, I
think they believed you. Yeah, that's why they did what they did. It wasn't because you'd let them steamroll over the country everywhere, but that wasn't the reason.
I think they believe you.
I'll give you an example.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah, they did believe me, but
Ronnie Jackson gave you a cognitive test. There's now, and I've been.
Ronnie Jackson gave him a cognitive test. Is this what we're? Hold on.
Person, woman, man.
I love lamp.
Yeah, you guys remember that.
I've been saying this since before the election that I think Joe is weak, frail, and a cognitive mess. Now
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what China and Russia would like you to say. I mean, if you're going to talk about China and Russia are laughing or they're celebrating something right now, what more could they celebrate than this asshole nightly making the case that the President of the United States is decrepit while defending this dickhead?
Vast majority of people, John McLaughlin's latest poll, see it the way I see it. You took that cognitive test. I asked Ronnie Jackson. You got 30 out of 30. Do you believe that
we did this little chunk or something, right?
Biden is showing signs of being cognitively compromised?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, have you ever heard him say anything like or
free health care for illegal look, and then we'll action replays in magnified fashion.
And should he take the test?
Look, all I can say is I know President Xi, I know Putin, I know Kim Jong-un, I know all the leaders of the world. I got to know them very well. Most of my many of my although tough cookies. They're all at the top of their.
By the way, tough cookie means they murder large swaths of their own populations. You know, Pol Pot, tough cookie.
We need somebody that's at the top of the game, and maybe it should be mandated that you take like cognitive tests or something. But you can't.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So you're not running in 2024, is what you're saying?
Have the head of China, the head of Russia, the head of these powerful nations being at the top of their game. Look at what's happening. Look how weak we look. Look how we look. You don't think that Russia, China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, and all these other people that hate us, you don't think that they were watching and laughing all the way to the bank? Look at,
laughing all the way to the bank? First of all, this is the kind of thing broke people say, laughing all the way to the bank about Putin. First of all, Putin's like worth $200 billion or some shit. Xi Jinping is the leader of a communist country, laughing all the way to the bank. I mean, right now, considering Evergrande and the current let's see, hold on, Chinese economic. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure he's I mean, if you're Xi Jinping and you're laughing all the way to the bank, I'm guessing it's one of those kind of like that kind of laugh. Not a this is hilarious, but like I'm cracking up. I can't even that kind of laughing. China is fucked. And by the way, one of the reasons why this isn't going to have as bad an impact on the world market as it could have had, say, 5 years ago or even 8 years ago is because China's been closing its doors and battening down its hatches economically, basically pushing everybody out as far as investors and the like, with rare exception. Like BlackRock owns a bunch of, bonds there or whatever, but not the kind of thing that would cause a ripple effect across the entire world economy, especially as they've started, COVID basically shortened the entire process. Chinese President Xi Jinping has a better understanding of the economic challenges facing his country than most investors. In recent years, the leader for life has warned of the dangers posed by the real estate bubble, excessive debt levels, widespread corruption, and rising inequality. These problems are not unique to the People's Republic. In the past, every country in the region that adopted so-called Asian development model has faced similar problems. Xi's dilemma is that there is no easy way for China to surmount them. The Asia development model has several common features. State-controlled banks supply cheap loans to favored industries. The currency is kept at an undervalued level in order to boost exports. Domestic consumption is suppressed to create savings for investment. That fell apart a long time ago. And rapid modernization is achieved by adopting foreign technologies. Adopting, that's a cute word for stealing, but sure. Since World War II, this combination of policies proved remarkably successful at narrowing development gaps between Asia and the West, with, by the way, the help of the West. Not like they just turned this on like a switch. But growth in Asia is inherently unstable. Artificially low interest rates fuel real estate bubbles, such as Japan experienced in the late 1980s and Thailand in the following decade. By the way, I posted this the other day, but some of you may or may not remember, during the 80s, like as Japanese car makers and electronics manufacturers were on the rise, there was this belief that Japan was going to be the biggest economy in the world very soon. The same conversation that people were having about China 2-3 years ago, they were having about Japan as well. And Japan's stock market has never recovered after their crash. US, after 2008, we recovered and moved forward. You were still, I think, somewhere in the order of 25 to 30 points down on the Nikkei since its heights in the 80s. That's fucking horrifying as an investor. The other thing, too, is, you know what the difference between China and Japan in the late 1980s? In the late 1980s, Japan had friends. Japan had people who trusted the economics of the country. The real estate was the collapse. It's very similar to what's happening in China right now, except it didn't have all the other bear traps in it. But Japan wasn't on the skids with the rest of the fucking world when it collapsed. China is. No one wants to rush in and save China from itself the way they wanted to with Japan, and even still, they never fully recovered yet. This is now considered China's current predicament. Since the Communist Party embraced economic reform in the late 1970s, it has pursued the Beijing University Michael Pettis dubs as the Asian development model on steroids. China's savings and investment rose to higher levels, and consumption fell lower than any other Asian economy had ever witnessed. The People's Republic has gorged on debt. Basically, everything you've been told about China owning our debt, which they own about 8% because they buy bonds like everybody else because our bonds actually are trustworthy. Worldwide, the majority of the debt that we have as a nation comes from our own Social Security Trust Fund and our own people in general, which has climbed about by around 100 percentage points relative to GDP since the global financial crisis. That's 100% since 2008. The value of China's real estate is matched only by Japan's in 1989, while the grounds of the Emperor's Palace in Tokyo at the bubble's peak were reportedly worth more than Canada's entire real estate. China is said to have enough vacant properties to house the entire Canadian population of 38 million and more. They have, by the way, they have 90 million empty apartments in China. 90 million. They could handle the entire population of Canada, Australia, and Mexico. No wonder she bemoans that property is for living rather than speculation. The country's unbalanced and inadequate development has not improved the quality of living for many Chinese nationals because the houses that they're building and all that kind of stuff don't even have fucking windows. They're just empty floors. Because if the state decides that they want to plow under these buildings and put a train track through or something like that, they pay you by the floor. So all these real estate people started building shit just to be in the way. Do you hear me? Think about that for a second. The state uses a method to determine how much they pay you for your property, not by the value of the property on the generalized market, not by, how much it would cost to relocate you to a similar piece of property. No, they pay you by the fucking floor. So a bunch of these Chinese like farmers and the like started building on top of their houses open air floors, just basically like a 5-story building with no walls over their house, because when the government comes to knock it down, they're going to have to pay you by the floor. You have to understand, like, it goes beyond just like journalistic malpractice with these dickheads. They are inflating the Chinese government. This is like the political version of a pump and dump scheme. But this guy will never stop kissing the ass
happened
of
in
Jesus
Afghanistan. When they watched that horrible, stupid withdrawal, I can't believe that the military would have allowed themselves to be put in a position like that where they leave. And I can just see Abdul. He was.
We sent in 6,000 troops to mitigate people getting out.
Head of the Taliban, who I dealt with, and he understood we weren't playing games. Again, no soldier shot. Nobody knows that. Nobody wants to talk about that. 18 months.
Yeah, because it had to do with the deadline, which we now know you never intended to honor. And if you had been in office, you would have said, we're staying anyways, fuck the deal. And then a bunch of our soldiers would have died in a weekend.
You could just see him. Abdul, they come back. Abdul, the American soldiers have left. No way. Are you an idiot? There's no way.
I love this play. This is amazing. Donald Trump's one-man show. Hold on one second. Nah, that won't work. Hold on. I've got to find. Give me a second. Let's see. That won't work. Give me a second. We have to find something that makes. That won't work. This is what always happens when I'm trying to find. Hold on. No, it won't work. So just give me a second. It's for the fun of it. That one. Shit. Give me a sec. I'm just looking for something. This is so stupid. It's always it's silly, like ridiculous waste of time on my part. But let's this will work. It'll work. Hold on. Go ahead, tell me. Tell me what you... I'm Abdul. I know this doesn't look that great, but trust me on this. It's something else.
Abdul, they come back.
What?
Abdul.
What?
The American soldiers have left. No way.
They did?
Are you an idiot?
No.
Are you an idiot?
Are you an idiot?
There's no
You're
way.
an
No,
idiot.
no, Abdul. I
No
mean
way.
it. They've left. He'll say,
Oh, they left. This is not a... Holy shit. This is not a sane man at all. Listen to this shit. Hold on. Seriously.
see him. Abdul, they come back. Abdul, the American soldiers have left. No way. Are you an idiot? Are you an idiot? There's no way. No, Abdul, I mean it. They've left. He'll say, well, let me check it out. An hour later, he said, they left.
Yeah.
And they left with all their equipment behind. They left brand new airplanes and brand new everything. They have more equipment. Do you know they have 700,000 machine guns and rifles and guns, and many of them are on the black market. They don't need that many. Many are on the black market.
No. Yeah. You have to have... They're black guns. That makes sense. And, obviously... Jesus Christ. Listen to that gibberish. Hey, Sean, do you want to walk back your whole cognitive test comment earlier?
We had 28 Apache helicopters, the most incredible machine. And you know who's got them now? 2 of them each.
2 of them each.
Russia has 2. China has 2 because they...
So they have 4. And I'm sorry. You think Russia and China need Apache helicopters?
back engineering it so that they can build the exact same.
Excuse me. Back engineering it. It's pronounced
De-engineering.
Yeah, it's back engineering.
De-engineering.
It's
De-engineering.
That's what the word is. I thought it was... He says back engineering.
De-engineering.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm just making sure.
They're de-engineering.
I see. Okay, that's what they're doing? Are we sure about that? Okay.
Helicopter, because it's the most advanced in the world. It's incredible. What
Mr.
we've
President,
done is
last
so
question.
horrible.
I want to get your take on 2 issues.
But by the way, before you don't get upset about anything that he's saying, because it's a completely pointless interview, and look again how miserable that man is. Meanwhile, let's see. Let's see. Let's just do a bunch of... Here you go. There you go, Joe. This just happened. There you go. You ever see somebody actually smile? What that actually looks like? See that? See that? What's going on? Look at these guys having a great time. This stuff. See that? Do you ever see Trump smile actually? Dude is fucking miserable. Look at this. Look at that face. Look at that face. Look at that put him. And then look at this. And then this. And then this. It's gotta suck. Yes, reverse engineering is the proper phrase. You are correct. Not de-engineering. Here you go. Here you go. There's some. Oh, it's gotta be rough. Oh, look at it. Look at this. He's smiling. There he is smiling again. That's a serious face. And there you go. And then he's smiling. Look at smile. And then, oh, that's gotta suck. Sorry. Okay, back again. Remember, every question Sean asks makes Trump more miserable. It's like the opposite of an angel getting its wings.
I know after the verdict, Kyle Rittenhouse went to visit you, and I have a picture of it. I want to get your thoughts on...
Yeah, of course you have a picture of it, Sean. Why don't you just tell the world you masturbate while you're at it?
The rush to judgment, especially by Joe Biden, because I think Kyle Rittenhouse has a lawsuit against many in the media. And
oh, because of your edit of what Biden actually fucking said?
Joe Biden himself. Many legal experts agree with my opinion. I want to ask you about...
No, they don't. They most certainly do not. And none that aren't on the air on Fox and are paid to agree with you.
And the tragedy of Waukesha, which is a rap sheet a mile long, driving straight...
Listen to this. Dude, fucking playing footage. This little girl just...
to a crowd of
The
people.
fact that he missed this girl.
And that tragedy, I'll give you the last word on that.
Well, he was out on bail, and
Okay, so here's a very serious circumstance, and then two of them in a row. And then let's see Sean Hannity, he's going to tee this up.
it was a rough cookie, and it looked like they caught him in...
He was a rough cookie. He was a rough cookie. Very different than a tough cookie. A rough cookie kills like, dozens of people at best. Whereas a tough cookie can kill tens of thousands. But they're their own people. So a rough cookie kills them in their, maybe a couple dozen in their own country. And then a tough cookie, I don't know. This dude seems to want a cookie really fucking bad.
Other act, and he was speeding. This guy was crazy and a real professional criminal and a bad guy.
This is, by the way, I hope you're taking notes on this in case, the defense of the prosecution needs some, this to finally dissected legal opinion.
And the good news is he hated Trump, okay? He hated Trump based on early reporting. And he should not have been out. He should have never. Can you imagine? I looked at that car going in. Somebody said 30 miles an hour. That was a lot more than 30. Right through the middle of a band of people, hitting them from the back.
Yeah, they're showing it because Sean Hannity is a fucking ghoul.
I've never seen anything like it. It was so, I can't even look. Nobody can look at it. You can't even look at it. So far.
You can't even look at it. He says while Sean Hannity plays it over him talking. You can't even look at it unless Sean Hannity makes you.
Dead, 40 are badly wounded. The 5 number will go much higher, all because of a bad.
No, it won't. And by the way, he does this all the fucking time. Because he never thinks the body count is enough. This is a classic Trump thing.
Guy, and he was out on bail, a very low bail. Just a terrible, terrible situation. I mean, just terrible.
All right.
But tell us, was it terrible though? I mean, and you got to say, that's why the guy was president. He can describe something. He's got the best words. They're so good he uses them over and over and over again. Why even try other words when you have the 9 best words and you can just keep using those? The best words are defined by quantity, not quality. All right? You elitists.
I know you met with Kyle Rittenhouse.
By the way, I have to say, Kyle, I got to know him a little bit. He called. He wanted to know if he could come over and say hello because he was a fan, unlike the other guy.
Yeah, how do you get your fucking number? He wanted to come over. He called you. Yes, an 18-year-old who just died. He wanted to come over. He called you. What did he just call? 1-800 Trump Squat? He called. He called and he just wanted there. Why wouldn't he? Fuck Disneyland. He just got acquitted of murder charges. Where are you going to go? Disneyland? No, Mar-a-Lago to meet Trump. I hear they have a great omelet bar.
He came over with his mother. Really a nice young man.
Which, by the way, his mother takes him everywhere. I'm going to guess his mother called.
He went through.
Or returned the call from Don Jr. that led to him coming there.
That was prosecutorial misconduct. He should not have had to suffer through a trial for that. He was going to be dead. If he didn't.
No. I've said from the beginning, this was going to be clear self-defense, but a trial would be necessary in a shooting of that nature. So I don't want to live in a country where those kind of shootings happen in a large group of people and we don't actually have a trial over it when there's a decision to be made between decent people trying to make a decision whether something is self-defense or murder.
Pull that trigger. That guy that put the gun to his head, in 1/4 of a second, he was going to pull the trigger. Kyle would have been dead.
All right. So Sean Hannity was just making the case that that Kyle Rittenhouse has a lawsuit against Biden for something that Hannity and the people at Fox News have edited to make look like Biden was asserting his guilt beforehand. That's the case they're making. Meanwhile, Gage Grosskreutz, like notorious asshole and liar, now apparently has a case against Donald Trump for asserting that he was going to get his gun right up to the kid's head and blow his brains out.
A really good young guy. He's 18 years old. Just left Mar-a-Lago a little while ago. And
how long did he fucking stay? A little while ago? Do you smell almonds?
He should never have been put through that. That was prosecutorial.
It was a witch. It was a witch hunt. It was such a witch hunt. That's what we talked about. What was it like?
Misconduct. And it's happening all over the United States right now with the...
Right, yeah. It's that. It only took a second. Like, he just left a few minutes ago because he tried to leave earlier, but I was chewing his fucking ear about how I totally understand.
Democrats.
Mr. President, you gave us a full hour, longer than we thought. We appreciate you being with us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we tried to broom you 3 or 4 times and it didn't fucking work, but whatever.
The president's new book is out and it's called...
Oh, I forgot. I forgot the whole point of this is he's hawking the picture book because he needs money. Oh my God. Oh. Oh. Way to send it out like just like a punchline at the end of the longest, most drawn out fucking joke. Just the worst, boring setup for an hour-long setup for this, like, tiny little pull my finger punchline in the middle of this whole thing. Just, God.
Our journey together. You can get it exclusive.
Yeah, and again, I love that. You're absolutely right. Who said that in there? Worst, like, horrible cover. That's right, Mr. Webcast. Just friggin' terrible. Is there a way to make it look like we were able to paint the title of the book on the side of the plane? Like I really still own that fucking plane. By the way, he was allegedly he was going to paint his Trump plane with the colors from Air Force One. And he can't put the seal on it. That's illegal. But I guess he technically could, but he'd get busted about it. They'd have to blur it out and all kinds of shit, whatever. Anyways, he wanted to paint his plane, but I don't think he can afford to do it.
On the website, 45books.com. Mr. President, great to see you. Thank you for so much time. We appreciate having you on the program.
Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you very much, Sean. I gotta go hawk this book. This was Don Jr.'s idea. Fuck me.
This is terrible. All right, I'm out of time. Look at that. We had so much stuff. I'll cover this tomorrow. Greg Kelly covers the laptop from hell, and then something happened to Diamond and Silk. And then, by the way, let's a moment for our non-sponsor, our non-sir. Yeah. On the CSL sent me this on MyPillow.com. You can get for $9.98 with the promo code. You can get a copy of his book and a Jesus pillow that says, "With God, all things are possible." Matthew 19:26, which was a great year for Matthew, really. And then there's a bunch of them. There's a collection for $50, which is a $219 value, but they're really invaluable, honestly. You can get all these, Trust in the Lord and Go to Sleep. And I am the what? The Vinci you can snansel. And then there's the, okay, Do Not Fear, for I am with you. That's good. And then Cabin on a Hill. Then this weird, spooky one. It's like they all go somewhere.
Just walk through the forest, cross the stream, down through the fields, along the riverbank, and to the crazy serial killer house in the middle of the woods. And then, of course, they also have ones for kids for $50. Look at this. This is Jesus and, that's Joseph in the lion's den, something like that. Creation. This is the Bible, and all the animals are reading it, and they're getting it wet. Why is the Bible all wet? And then God creates the heaven and earth. So in case you read face down in cloth, do not fear, for I am your pillow. What happened to him? He died the way he was reading the Bible when he died. He tried to read it by putting a pillow on his face. Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel's kind of dick dangling and kind of hanging with that female lion there. Just kind of like, hey, baby, we've been down here a long time. It's a bit of a short skirt hanging thing. I don't know what kind of hippie bullshit this is. Daniel in the lion's den. I'm down here, Dad. Yeah. No, it's just me and the cubs. And what are you doing down there? I'm playing Indiana Jones. What the fuck do you think I'm doing? Get me out of here. Joan and the whale. Oh, no. Meanwhile, everybody's always reading the Bible. I guess it splashes out of the Bible is the idea. Meanwhile, these guys did fucking nothing to help. And there's the story on the back. And then this is Noah's Ark, which again is getting the pages all wet. You got 2 monkeys, 2 giraffes, which again, I feel bad for the giraffes. They just everybody else could go down below, but here's the giraffes with their fucking head out in the rain for 40 days. 2 parrots, macaws, I guess. 2 flamingos, obviously heading straight to Mar-a-Lago. 2 zebras, 2 dolphins. Nobody notices the biggest flaw in the Noah's Ark story is that apparently God didn't have a fucking problem with any fish whatsoever. All right, hold on, that opened up. And then the story of Noah's Ark, which, if you don't know the story of the dove that found the olive branch and sat on the cane during the magic trick. And then story of baby Jesus, this is the front. Now I know what you're thinking. Those sheep are awfully clean to be in a manger. And he was apparently sleeping in the Bible. This is what we're doing. And then, of course, the camel. There were no camels in the Middle East at this time. But don't let that bother you. There's an ox with enormous horns around a baby. And then, of course, they had to have a donkey. He was way older when he helped, when Jesus rode him into town. And then these are the 3 wise men. We are 3 wise men. We have come to pay homage to him. Homage? It's disgusting. You're all drunk. He is our savior, the Messiah, King of the Jews. Oh, so that's Sagittarius. That's Capricorn, is it? No, that's just him. Oh, I was about to say, that'd be a lot of them. And, of course, the next best thing to the Bible. Jesus Christ. No pun intended. Overstock sale. And then this is the part that stuck out to me, CSL. You can get your fix 2020 first. Go to frankspeech.com yard signs and the help save our country ! Go to Frank's Speech with Mike holding a flag. Dude posed for this shit. Is that the Bible in his hand? Oh, and they have a movie?
In 1942, master lithographer Theodore Oman created his authentic restoration of the Declaration of Independence. In essence,
and we put it on a sheet so you could bleach your semen stains out of it.
Recreated the Declaration as to how it looked when it was signed. In 1953,
and by the way, it made completely out of actual weed instead of hemp.
An astonishing replica of the U.S. Constitution. Together, they are regarded as the most beautiful replicas of our nation's founding document.
Yeah, cool. What the fuck does that have to do with yard signs?
ever created. Now, you can own lithographic reprints of these masterpieces. They're
Yes, I know. I can get them on Amazon anytime I want to. And in DC, you could buy them at any tourist shop. They're really cool.
no better way to show your patriotic spirit than to hang a set of omen prints in a place for all to see.
Okay, bullshit. Obviously, a giant rampant. Look, you're gonna tell me that that is the best way you can show that you love the country? Hold on. This is I'm insulted. This is clearly there are way better ways to show. Like, how about hang that? That's how you do it. Fucking Constitution. Eat a bag of frogs, assholes. How about, let's see, how about this one with Trump riding a motorcycle? I know he doesn't have a driver's license and can't even drive a car. Shut the fuck up. He's on a motorcycle with Melania, and she's not holding on that tight, and she is looking at a security guard, and these poor kids are running afterwards, obviously this is like him, he was a big fisher. He was going to make him a fisher, he'll make you a fisher of men. There's also, this beats the shit. Let's be honest. Is there a better one than Jesus giving Trump an uncomfortable back rub? Trump's got that, why do I feel 11 fingers look on his face? He's like, 8, 9, 10. That's the whole, wait a minute, how many fingers are on my shoulder?
River.
Yeah, that's Kenny Loggins, is that, the QAnon shaman. Yeah, it's I'm alright, nobody worry about me. Why you got to give me a fight? Don't you just let me do what you want? Right. So, oh my God, look at this shit. See, who the fuck needs a copy of the Constitution when you got the Duke laying back on a 6-shooter, Trump fucking a flag with this screw it look on his face, and Jesus crunching the globe, eating the globe like an apple. This is a little closer to truth, though. If we entered the end times, there's a bunch of people who would follow this fuckhead into a canyon. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Oh God. Fear not, for I am with you. They literally, that's Jesus. And they put his face on him. What fucking sacrilegious bullshit is this? Oh, so gross. So gross. Trump's Space Force. Jesus. That's good. That's what you want in a free country. You know what I mean? That's what says free country more than murdering journalists because you don't like them because they ask you tough questions and it's upsetting. But anyways, back to wherever we were.
Don't hesitate. The time is now to reinforce the significance of the very documents that define America and set us apart from every other country in the world. Now available at mystore.com.
What the fuck does that have to do with these things? Oh, shit. For fuck's sake. They didn't even... That's just him giving a thumbs up. They just borrowed art for this. They borrowed a... Son of a bitch. Look at this thing. See his thumb? Do you guys see that right behind there? For fuck's sake. Oh, they're going to have to... There's got to be a way to blow this up. Yeah. Look at that. See right behind the flagpole? See his thumb sticking up? And his fingers over like this? They photoshopped finger flaps on the front like that. And he's giving a thumbs up because he was doing this. And they made fingers long like this. They photoshopped there. And then in his left hand, He's holding a tiny constitution. Hey guys, that's just fucking from an event. They just borrowed a like Instagram shot, you lazy sons of bitches. See that? See this right here? Just like shit. They bothered to do this. They put the extra finger, like make it look like his hands are closed around, but they didn't bother to move his thumb in front of it. They didn't find another hand. All they had to do was find a hand where he's, where somebody's holding something, and like anybody would fucking know if they. Oh god, just pitiful. And they took this from somewhere else. The stick is different than here than. Oh god, I do. Is there no standard anymore? Dear God. No, I'm not interested. No, thank you. Overstock sale, classic. There's the help save our country mug and a Frank Speech shirt. Oh, Frank Speech merch. By the way, I have merch. If you haven't noticed, I have merch. I do. It's really fun. It's not. I don't want $10. I want to be able to look through the. I gotta go the other direction. Same mug, same image, same thing, same sticker, same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing. Yeah, that's good. That's right. At least it spared no expense. Fucking hell. Oh, the puppy. Women's sleepwear. Men's sleepwear, loungewear. My slippers. To go anywhere pillows and cases. Those are because for all the people who are sleeping in Airstreams, deadheading Trump around the country. MyPillow, thing. But hand sanitizer. Don't they realize it's a hoax? What the hell? What? What in the Sam Hill is a... Hey, man, you don't know what that's for? I use that stuff all the time, man. I use it on my gums. I use it on my rectum. I know we have it hanging in the outhouse on a hook. You just tear off one of those packages, pour it down the back of your overall, man. That's good stuff. I use Bleed Stop all the time. Use it for everything. I don't have a health care plan because of that Obamacare. Rather, I don't need Obamacare. I got my own towels I got one. And I got Bleed Stop. I use Bleed Stop on everything. I got a cold, Bleed Stop. I got a hemorrhoid, Bleed Stop. I got a headache, Bleed Stop. Runny nose, Bleed Stop. Gum disease, Bleed Stop. Liver cancer, Bleed Stop. It works on everything, man. It's like the ivermectin of hydroxychloroquine.
Hannity right after this break.
Now. That's right. Give it to him, Hannity. You tell him what to do. Well, look at that. I use that on everything, really. And it not only can you use it on your nether regions if you ever been manscaping with a scythe. And, you get overzealous. That happens. It's all right. Don't be afraid. And in the process, you got to have some Bleed Stop on it. I use it on salad as a salad dressing. Often it's good on ribs. It's good. Either your own or some baby back. It doesn't matter. It's good stuff. If it wasn't for this stuff, I wouldn't have... These last two teeth, I've grown very partial to them. And that's the only thing keeps me alive. And so I drink a gallon of it a day. The best one is the Bleed Stop suppositories. It comes in, it's kind of large. I'm not going to lie. I was surprised at the size of the pill. Then I realized, I checked the package. I had a friend who read it for me, and it had a little horse with a circle and a line through it. And I was like, oh, this is cow's ass size. I mean, it went in. Don't get me wrong. It was getting it out that was the problem. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Come on, tell me. You know what I mean. You son of a bitch. Oh, dear. I'm scared to click on this. Stop bleeding in seconds. from minor cuts to large bleeding wounds. Bleed Stop is an organic non-stinging powder that stops bleeding in seconds. We're going to use in all minor cuts and major wounds. Major wounds. Get the fuck... What? This is, all right, this is Yunnan Baiyao. This is the white powder from Vietnam that they used as a quick coagulant. And they were saying this is one of the reasons why the North Vietnamese were hard to fight, because they could pour this shit in a bullet wound and they could heal up faster than our troops could. That was one of the things that they did. That, and they were gacked up on drugs too. But our guys were on the slow drugs. Their guys were on coca. And they also had Yunnan Baiyao, which you can buy in China. Hold on one second. I've got my headphones in. I'll take them out for a second. But let me, this is, I'll show you something real quick. Hold on. I have a spray bottle of this, and I actually use it sometimes. I don't, and I brought this back from China on my last trip. And, Baiyao is like white powder. This is the Baoshenye version of it, and then there's a white bottle of this that I have as well. And you spray it on wounds when you have a scrape or something, and it makes the blood coagulate and stops the bleeding, right? And that's why you can buy this up. But it was from Vietnam, Yunnan. And the Chinese stole it, and they call it Yunnan, as in the Yunnan province, to pretend that they didn't take it from Vietnam. For a long time, you just bought it. When I was in China the first time, it was Yunnan Baiyao. It was like they recognized it was from, this Vietnamese white powder. That's what you want to get, because you can spray it on a wound, and it will stop bleeding. And now they act like they came up with it. Tampons plug bullet holes, the best. Well, the best is not getting shot, but absolutely works for people on blood thinners too. FDA cleared, safe in the wound. For all, like, Jesus Christ, why is this one of Declaration of Independence? Freedom coffee, freedom coffee, freedom flags. Metal art of Wisconsin. Now, this one's good because you can beat a cop with it, apparently, according to them. Ignite fire starter, and if you burn yourself, you can pour bleed stop in the wound. Passion for Life liquid vitamins. Boing. Uncommon USA flagpole kit. Uncommon USA Incorporated. Uncommon is the name of the thing. Strongest telescoping flagpole in the market. Sounds great. Uncommon. Like Uncommon Valor? Is that what they're talking about? Jim Hansel. I mean, that's great stuff. Made in America socks. Socks that work as hard as you work. Bullshit. Carver flag on rustic handcrafted American flags. I know that I've seen people on the internet, like the right-wingers I look at, they always have these, the Carver flag, because some of them have done ads for these folks because they're promoting people. They're a promoting company, so they'll buy ad space on low-end right-wing websites and right-wing YouTube channels. So I've seen these guys talk about this shit before. They probably pay to be on this site, more than likely. But anyway, so we got distracted. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got to let you guys go. I've got more stuff to cover tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow is Thursday, so no morning show, and the show starts a little later. It's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific time, as you well know. Thank you guys for subscribing and supporting the show, and for the super chats, and for thank you, Melinda. Thank you, Moms, for hosting me. Thanks, Michael, for the super chat. He can't even smile when Jesus has his hands on Trump. Nope. On Trump. Nope. Thank you guys for the bits, Jess, and thanks everybody for the follow. Thanks for resubscribing, Peregrine. Appreciate that. Deanne, thank you for the super chat. Ezekiel, thank you so much. More Hal-Billy. You got it. I did it instantly without even being told, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Bonnie and Sonny and Roderick And Mandy, thank you for the super chats, you guys. Thanks for the bits, Sue Brown and Blues Lane and Tony from Ireland and Blues Lovin'. Oh, that's Blues Lovin'. That's what that is. Betcha. Thank you for the bits. And Tony from Ireland, thank you for gifting the subs. And same thing with Shadow Woman and Stargal. Thank you guys for gifting those subs. I really appreciate it. Our number, what's our current number of subscribers on Twitch? I'll have to reload it. Yeah, we were as high as 800. We're at 755 now. Woohoo! People have to redo it if they don't know. So I'm terrible at reminding people. This I got to get. My goal is over the next year to get better at the sales part without being a dick about it. Because I've got to, if I want this thing to be something I can sustain for a time and grow to make it worth it, I've got to get better at that part of it. I know other people they don't shy away from the sales part at all, and I always feel awkward doing it. Not because I'm ashamed to do it or whatever, it just feels ham-handed sometimes. So I appreciate you guys that support on Patreon and other places without me having to remind you. And the same thing with Twitch and all that kind of stuff. I really appreciate that. And I will get better at doing it. I really should do it at like the beginning and ending of each like segment that I do when we do a new video, but I just forget because we're having so much fun. Yeah. It's just too organic. That's the problem. We're too close, you and I, doing this show. It's just us. And so I always feel weird. It's why I don't run any ads. I don't have any, I don't stop the show and do a promotion in the middle of it. It seems ham-handed and stupid. At some point, I'm sure it would be financially viable and helpful and all that kind of stuff. And I do have a kid and need, we have to keep our health insurance up and that kind of stuff. So I as a business person and as an individual who, has regular bills, I have to get better at that. But I've got to find some way to balance it with not feeling like I'm, like pressuring anybody or something like that. That's the awkward part of this, because it's a different way of doing business for me. Usually I do shows and it's tickets and it's very simple. So anyways, I want to thank you guys for the subscribers that have stuck with us. I appreciate you a lot. For the subscribers on YouTube who've hopped in there, and for the people on Facebook who are chucking stars my way, thank you very much. And for the people on Twitter, I would like to say, you freeloaders, how dare you live off of everyone else? I'm kidding. But I will see you. Yeah. No, the ads will run on Twitch out of my control, sometimes YouTube or Facebook as well. That's beyond my control in that terms. I could shut them off, but then I wouldn't make anything. But in the process, I'm not doing any kind of are you a betting man? Like Stutter John does. I just can't, I'm not going to do it. I can't do it for the show. It just feels so ham-handed and shitty. It just does. So anyways, and I appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate all the support. And thank you for the Venmo. By the way, we had a couple of people Venmo during the show yesterday as well. I know it's in here. Yeah. Thank you, Regina, for the Venmo. Just a couple of hours ago. There was a couple more in here. Let's see these. Regina, Delise, thank you for the Venmo as well. And Deborah, thank you so much. Appreciate that. You want to see Chip? I'll see if I can find him. Give me 1 second, then Chip and I will say goodbye together. Hold on. Everybody's out of the house, so I don't know where he is. Chipper. There he is. Oh, he's a sleepy boy. Oh, he's a sleepy boy. He was a sleepy boy. Hi, sleepy boy. You okay? This is Chipper. He was sleeping on the shelf. He's a sleepy boy. There he is. There he is. He sleeps on my arm like this. It's so adorable. But then he's a sleepy boy. He sleeps on my arm like this, and then my arm gets like tennis elbow. But he just conks out, he just stays there. He just likes it. He's like Mr. Bigglesworth. So, there he is. He's very content. See that? Look at that. Just dangles. Just, yeah, roar. Yeah, he's so sweet. He's just out. He's just tired. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for all the support and for hanging out and being here. I appreciate it. And if you didn't see the morning show, it should be completely fine for a rewatch on any of the sites that you normally watch on. And I think the talk about the statistics and all that kind of stuff is really valuable. So, hey, buddy, what are you doing? Oh, he wants to play with the wire. I can't, hold on. You're going to fall off. I got you. Okay, there he is. He wants to curl up. So, yeah, he does. He's a good boy. He's such a good boy. He's a beautiful man. Hi, Stinkums. We call him Stinkums, even though he stopped stinking. Although he did fart for the first time in like maybe 2 weeks yesterday. And I was like, oh, man, I am not giving you that kind of cat food again. I'll see if let's see if Airborne's up. I'll let you guys on Twitch go over to him. Much love, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Yeah, he's on there. So I'll send you guys on a raid over there. Send him our love, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Oh, what's a sleepy boy? What's a sleepy boy doing? What's a sleepy boy?